So welcome, ladies. We are diving into chapter 7 and 8 tonight of Law of Respect and Law of Intuition. So Law of Respect, which basically states you need to be respected if you want to be an influence as a leader. In order to do that, you have to prove yourself and prove your abilities. Also showing others your confidence in your own abilities and you know where you're headed. It's very important. People don't follow other people by accident, right? They follow those whose leadership they respect. People would generally follow other people who are better leaders than themselves. I love that when they talked about that. That's why continuing raising your own leadership lid is so important. So here's a question for you. When you think of a leader where everyone seems to naturally follow, what do you think drew others to him or her? Can you think of someone that people naturally follow?
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's their energy.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. Anyway.
As well, their confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely confidence.
Their success.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What causes a person to respect and follow others?
Clarity and certainty and vision. Someone with integrity who walks their own talk. When they tell you to do something, it's because they're already doing it, not because they think it's a good idea. And I love that story in the book about was it the sergeant, the captain that ended up heading that troop that they went over the wall, and he died. He led the charge and he died.
Yeah.
And what's that saying that John Maxwell has is that the one thing that never enters the grave or follows you and never goes into the grave is your character. It's what people remember, and the people that were inspired to follow him afterwards, long after he died, what his example meant to them.
Yeah. Amazing. So what do you think of Harriet Tubman? What about her story? What were your takeaways on reading about Harriet Tubman? You've heard that story before?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I have.
I just want you guys to know my maiden name actually is Tubman.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
that
So
is-
I actually do. I don't think I'm related, to be honest. Like, I mean, because I'm like, you know, just being honest. But I really I've heard the story before, but that was like more in depth, and I absolutely loved it. And actually, we got into a great family discussion about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was
Curry.
My son?
I love my goodness.
I picked up my son from school the other day, and on my way home, I always ask him what they're doing at school or stuff, and he's like, "Mom, have you heard about that Tubman lady?" And I was like,
Really?
just read about it, and I was like, and I didn't know about her until then, and they're learning about her in school.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
he
That
was
is
telling
very
me all
cool.
about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some things that really jumped out for me about that story was, okay, she had no education. She was toothless. She wasn't sophisticated in any way. But she had a very clear vision and passion for what she was doing. And she never lost anyone. And she also never let anyone quit. If they were thinking of quitting, she would kill them first. At least that was her threat. That was her threat anyways, was that no, because dead men don't tell, right?
Right.
Yeah. It was fascinating.
She
Don't
was
get any
not-
ideas, Cindy.
Well, say
I was
it
gonna
again.
say-
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe I'll take that on as a leader role on my team. You quit.
I can't wait, eh?
Her influence, what I got out of it was her influence commanded respect. So like what she said, now she lived, people respected it,
Yeah.
what they saw.
Mhm.
That's what I got out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was not likely, very not unlikely to be a leader, very unlikely. She's now a historic figure And like Allison just proved that, like they're learning it in school, so it's in the
Yeah.
book. I read it many years ago, and it was, when I read that again, it was probably because I did this book many years ago when I read the story. But
Mhm.
it spoke to me every time, like such courage and such compassion and such belief in what her mission was, right? She had a mission. So yeah, she really, that story really moved me. Leadership or success does not depend on where you are coming from, apparently, according to Harriet, right? It didn't depend on where she came from,
Mhm.
or where she started from. Had
Mhm.
nothing to do with it. It's more dependent on where you are headed and how strongly you are determined to get there. And her determination proved it to everybody. John Maxwell says, gaining respect always follows a pattern. When people respect you as a friend, they love you. When they respect you as a leader, they follow you. There's a difference. So what's the difference in someone liking, loving you compared to someone following you? Does anybody dig into that a little bit when you read that part?
No.
Any
I-
thoughts?
No, I'm just
I don't
thinking
know, I
about this.
started twice and loved it and highlighted the snot out of it, but
You didn't dig into it a little bit?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the quote on page 82, which is the leader must know he knows, and must be able to make it abundantly clear to those about him that he knows. The difference between the person you like and the person you respect is that the person you respect has such clarity that you feel safe following
Mhm.
them.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
So from my notes and reviewing a whole bunch of stuff was some of us are in the friend zone in our team because we've had friends join us, right? So it's very interesting when you dig into it.
I want a cat like that. Sorry.
sorry. He walked up on the desk and he's asking and asking, and I'm like, oh, just a sec.
Okay.
He's old.
So some of us are in a friend zone in our team and scared to lead people because we're concerned about relationship with friends.
Mm.
So think about that for a minute. Like when you have friends, you treat them differently than, because they do love you, right?
Mhm.
Friends
Mhm.
that join you love you. They're with you for a reason. But as I dug into it more, I realized if your friends are here because they love you, and that's the only reason, they're not going to stay. Think about that for a bit, right? What do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't personally have that going on.
Okay.
Uh,
So it's
I
hard.
I don't have close personal friends on the same level as me in. Anyone that I've brought in that is engaged in saying, yes, I want to learn how to do this. No, it's a different energy level.
Okay.
Yeah, but I hear you, and this is making me think.
It's
What if I had
interesting.
those personal friends
Yeah.
involved? Would I treat them differently? Yeah, you're right. I probably would feel a little bit less confident around telling them what to do.
That's the thing, right? It's hard to tell friends what to do.
Yeah.
So they
No,
have
when I say tell what to do, I don't mean that in a big way either. Like, please don't think,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like when we have clarity and we say, this is what we all need to do. You don't have to mince your words when you're speaking with a colleague, but when it's someone who's come in as a personal friend that you've always been buddy for years, well, yeah, it's a different dynamic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my team, Maureen is a longtime childhood friend above
Okay.
me. And then below me, like our main team is my sister-in-law, who I'm
Oh.
really close with.
Okay.
We have seem to have a really good thing going as far as being able to call each other out on stuff. But it's always done with such respect when we do it.
Nice.
But I don't think that would change even if we weren't friends. Like, I think we'd all be that way. Not that we'd ever have to really call each other out. It's just more that we may have different ideas of where the team should go as a direction. Or like, I tend to be the one that like jumps in off the cliff without any regard for anything. Whereas sometimes the other two are sort of like kind of holding onto my arm saying, okay, Leanne, I think we need to do this first. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, it actually works. But if you didn't have respect for each other first, I don't think you could do this with friends. Like, I just don't, I think you'd risk destroying something. Whereas I don't feel like we've risked anything. If anything, we've all gotten so much closer because of it. I'm actually really thankful. I wasn't as close with Amy before this, and I absolutely adore her. So
Oh,
it's been great. Like, I talk to her every single day now, and I love it.
Mhm.
So
Awesome.
can you shut the
Thank
door, please?
tell the cat.
Or the dog right here. There's one dog here, another dog there, and a cat here.
I guess it's a fine line because your friendship, right, is your friends before, and then you have to be a leader of your team. So this is where the fine line comes in, is that you still have to lead. It's like a parent-child relationship. You can be great friends, right, in that scenario as well, but somebody has to be the parent, somebody has to lead, somebody has to make decisions, and sometimes things may happen and you're looking at the betterment for them and the team as well. So sometimes you have to say the hard things, right? You have to have the harder conversations just to,
Well, Cindy, you would be an example of that yourself. I mean, I can't relate to it. I don't have close friends that are in my team. They're outside of it. They're not involved with Plexus at all, right? So that's my worlds are separate.
yeah.
However, you have Sheena. You
Yeah.
have a bunch of different things. So I'm listening, and this is fascinating to me.
Pamela and I were friends before Plexus.
Ah,
We've had some hard conversations, and you know what I am so thankful for is that we're better friends today because of our hard conversations.
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and we'll get into a little bit here in a bit, but it's all about like your motive, you know, it has to be the
Mhm,
right
mhm.
motive. As like Leanne said, you have to do it with respect, and you have to listen to each other and value each other's different opinions. It's not
Yeah.
always like, it's not all my way or the highway. You know, we have to be flexible and learn from each other.
Mhm.
Mhm. And everyone's different, so everyone thinks differently, right?
Yeah,
Every leader is different, so sometimes, yeah, you have communication is the key, right?
yeah.
Exactly. It's like a relationship. Communications is the key, and you have to kind of meet sometimes halfway with certain things, and everybody's opinion is valuable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, do either of you have a spouse that's involved in some way? This is a
Mine,
good,
it's
this
not-
ties in
No.
with, no, okay, because this ties in with the same point in a different way, though. Now, my husband is involved, but he is not the face you're ever going to see, right? And the way we work between us is that he's my math guy, and I've asked him repeatedly to please take care of the back office, the understanding how the income opportunities, how the Excel spreadsheets, how all of that stuff works for me, because I'm the big picture connection communication person, right? Like, and so I'm trying to lean into and beg him to step into his strengths, to take on that responsibility for me, so that I don't have to fuss with it. Can you
Yeah.
relate to that at all?
Yeah, somewhat. My husband is not involved in back office, and that's where I want him to be.
Yeah.
I want him to be, because he is a numbers guy, and he just
Yeah,
hasn't gotten to
okay.
that place yet
Yeah.
to take over, like learning all the compensation. I'm pretty good. I've learned through the years and through Natalie's advice and what to look for, but I think he could do really well with it and like know
Yeah.
every detail. And
Mhm.
he helps me with my numbers every month, and we
Okay.
work on it together. That's one thing we do.
I guess the bigger the numbers, the more interested they get.
Yeah, and I've gotten to a point where I need to have it broken down and in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm a visual person, so I need to know
Yeah.
what am I working for, how many
Yeah.
people, how many points, you know, you
Right.
gotta have all that.
Right.
So going back to people will, the other part is leaders are willing to tell people hard things, not just be a cheerleader at all times. They don't just let fear get in the way of reaching their goals. So if you see someone that has potential, especially, you have to sometimes have the hard conversation to help them overcome fears and, you know, push and do some things that they're not comfortable with doing, which, as you know, helps you get out of your comfort zone and do things that's gonna set up your own success.
Can you give us a good story around that from your own experience without naming anybody though?
I have a few team members that I've had hard conversations with,
Yeah,
and just like guiding them in being confident. I have one that's coming to my mind right now.
Yeah.
A newer team member, less than a year, she's been with
Mhm.
me, and was always like, she would not say things on her Facebook. She was very private. Okay, so I challenged her in doing a lot of things, actually, making her first selfie. Doing her first selfie, changing her
Wow.
profile picture, just making it more attractive and things like that, totally out of her comfort zone. And she listened to me and did
Okay.
all those things. And now her business is growing. And it's just challenging her
Okay.
to do
Love
a
it. Okay,
little bit
thank
more.
great.
So people they want to sense your motives, of course, and they'll sense if what you're saying is for their best interests or not. They'll sense that. Friend or not, I think people will pick up on that. Friends will tell you what you need to hear and not be scared, even if it's hard. Don't get stuck in the friend zone where it's going to stop you from investing in your business partner. They need to see that your results as well. So if they're following you, you have to show like the respect and the confidence and the results. That's all a part of leadership and respect, right? Why you follow somebody. They want to see you doing the things
Mhm.
as well. So where do you think the balance is between being a friend and being a leader? I know it's hard for some of you to see that and know that, but if you, especially if you don't have friends on your team, so this part is a little trickier. But there is a balance, of course.
Yeah, I think communication, Cindy, and honesty
Yeah,
plays a big part in, right? And respect for each other.
yeah. Definitely.
And when you show that, then your team sees it as well.
Yeah,
And if they get, right, and it follows down.
yeah, for sure. Okay, so how do you gain respect? How does a person gain respect?
I think like doing the right thing, like when it comes to if you've made a mistake, fix it. If you've, gone about something the wrong way, like, say you're sorry. Like, I know that, some of the early people that joined me, I need to do the hard work and go back to some of them because I was still learning. They pretty much signed on 2 minutes after I did. And, a lot of them are still with me. And I've been able to say, okay, some things you learn along the way that you figure out that, you're going to end up with a ton of cleanse if you just order Triflex every month, right? It's a big pain in the butt. It's a great, right? It's a great kit, but it is a pain in the butt in Canada that we can't make a kit different the second month. And just learning how to fix people's second month or third month so that they're not feeling like they're being gypped on some way is something you learn along the way. And those early people kind of quit because they're like, I have 4 bottles of cleanse. I don't like, and now I know, you know what I mean? Like stuff you learn from doing this. I want to go back to some of those people, like one particular girl that's quit and be like, hey, I was learning like you were, and I've learned so much. So, you know, you may not want to give me another chance at doing this, but you did great the first time. If you're ever willing to give me a shot again, like, you know what I mean? I've grown, I've
Mhm.
learned, and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So,
And I think of it's like we mentioned a little bit earlier, it's respecting each other, like Pam said, is how you gain respect, and listening to other people's ideas. And even if you are sharing things that you think may be good for the team, is allowing people to have their own thoughts, opinions, and the time to process new things. Right? Because like Natalie has been in network marketing for over 20 years. So when she bounces idea off me, I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work, but she has experience. And I kind of rely on that with her because she's done it before. And she can, I have to trust her in some things without knowing all the details of everything.
Mhm. One of the things that I see Natalie do that I have now adopted even more fully than ever before is that, again, the leader is whoever has the most certainty, the strongest posture is the one that will hold the conversation. When we've got a new customer who is perhaps faltering, maybe hasn't had the results yet, they're maybe 1 month in and their subscription's coming up and they're saying, I don't know if I want to spend this money again, right? Especially because it's always more money, but the same product the next month, right? Because they got a deal on their first month.
Yeah.
And that's that turning point for them, whether to continue or not. And when we're new to this, we can be influenced by perhaps their immediate, or not, their initial, is what I want to say, initial lack of result. And what Natalie helped me realize is it's up to us to manage their expectations. It's up to us to set the stage in the beginning to say, you may not notice anything for 60 to 90 days. Sure, take the active, you're going to notice that right away. But the other stuff, the triplex, for example, and we'll use that, is compare that to when we talk about weeding, seeding, and feeding the gut, compare it to having a lawn full of grubs. And you just had the topsoil removed and replaced it with new sod. Now you have to, you got all that new grass sod, the roots have to grow. You have to water it. You have to fertilize it. By the end of the summer, you're going to have a beautiful new lawn. But don't expect that to happen overnight. The grubs didn't build overnight. Trust the process. Feed, weed, seed, whatever it is. And in the meantime, let's stay in regular contact, learning how to adopt this new system, because ultimately you're going to become a new version of yourself in the process. All these other things will gradually fall into place. So if 1 month wasn't working for you, remember what we initially agreed on. It was a 60 to 90 day commitment. And after all, it's guaranteed anyways.
Yeah.
So what's your point?
Yeah, exactly.
I've had completely different conversations with new people since Natalie taught me. She didn't use the analogy of the grubs in the sod. That's my story. But since she's just said, Maura, were they willing to really do it for 60 to 90 days? Did they understand that that's what they needed to commit to? Or, are they really just looking for a quick fix? It's probably not about the results. It's about their budget.
Yeah. Yeah. So another way of respect is treating everyone you meet like they're your future diamond. How's that for a thought? Because do you really know? We can't prejudge, right? So treat everybody as if they're your diamond, because Melissa Heikenhorst didn't know that her 76 sign up was her diamond. But she, basically treating everybody with kindness and respect.
I think about that story every day. I pray.
So then John Maxwell goes in to talk about courage. So he says, if you want people to respect you, you have to do it scared. Yeah. So good leaders do things that are right, even under relentless criticism. Interesting. Thoughts on courage? The lady that I was listening to about courage recently, she said every single part of the business in Plexus has scared her from day one, every single step. And I look at myself and I'm like, I'm leading this group tonight. There's normally like 16 different leaders on different teams. Did I do my last one scared? Yep. Am I doing this one uncomfortably? Yes.
Cindy, I was terrified on Friday when I did my first live replacing Leanne.
You did amazing.
Yeah,
I
you did.
was, I was terrified. Just letting
So-
you know.
You're a leader. You're doing it scared. So same as this lady that, you know, I had to get her to change her profile picture, do a selfie. Like you guys all know when you come in, my first post on Facebook about Plexus, I did it scared. Right? Anyone have anything to share on that part? Like, have you done things scared with Plexus already? Maura
Yeah,
has.
be honest with some people about certain things and it was uncomfortable. And it ended up working all out and stuff like that. Even though it was uncomfortable, it needed to be said. And I think that because of that, like this person is going to have more success with her business.
Yeah.
I did a live, no, I shouldn't say that. I didn't do a live. I did a video and composed a collage today. And then I shared that in the leader chat. You saw that. Now that only captured a 1 minute snippet of the video. It was a 2-minute video, but I took the leap and I broadcasted out there about intermittent fasting.
Yeah,
I was
and,
scared. I was scared to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Doing lives are totally scary for me still.
Yeah.
But you did a great job on that. That was amazing. I saw that one too, Maura.
Well, thank you. I like the phrase leaders flash first. And you know who does that all the time? Leanne. She always leads the way. People
Yeah.
don't always necessarily follow her, but they always respect her.
Yes. So another way to gain people's respect is being successful, getting results, right? People are naturally drawn to those who are successful. Doesn't mean yet you have to be a diamond in the company. It could be silver. You're successful if you're silver. You're successful if you're senior silver, and you can put that out there. Look what this company, look what I've done already in this company. I've reached the first rank. I think sometimes we just make it too big, but getting results is what people want. They want to see you doing it. What are you getting out of it? Then they'll follow you once you show them you got results. If you want your team to follow you, you better be providing some results. Same thing, right? People follow leaders, so you have to be getting results for people to follow you. It's okay to share your struggles with people, but only after you've overcome them. That was a very interesting concept when I dug into that a little bit.
Mhm, mhm.
You can, Natalie taught me from day one that if I was going to complain or be frustrated or not understand about certain things, I could complain to her. You complain up, not
Mhm.
down,
Never down.
not sidelines, not down lines. You always
Right.
go upward. And if I was talking to Natalie about a frustration that I had, she's probably experienced it already. So she had some really good insight and some things she could share with me that would help me.
Mhm, mhm.
So again, like what came to mind when I was reading this was when, say like Maura was doing a live, she's not going to go on and share her struggle in the middle of her struggle.
No.
But she can share her struggle after she's
Mhm.
overcome it, because then now there's power in that, right? To share with somebody how she got through it.
Mhm.
People will respect you when you share the overcoming part, not in the middle of your struggle. I thought that was very interesting.
In the
Because
middle of your struggle, you're asking for help. After you've overcome it, you're showing the way.
Yeah, exactly. So you're showing you're still there. You're strong, right? You found a solution that gives hope to other people. Is the answer for them. Loyalty is another one why people would respect you and follow you, is seeing that you are loyal to your company, not one that's here in this company this week and over there next week and you got gone, after the new shiny things. loyalty says a lot. Loyalty stands out to people to know, because when I talk to people now, they say, you've been here 8 years. And I tell them the reasons why I'm here 8 years. There's a whole bunch of things that makes me stay with Plexus, because of, like, there's a whole list of things I could share with you. How can you tell if you've earned your team's respect?
Because they come back to get advice from you.
Yeah, that was actually the number one response to this question.
They also show up.
Yeah. That's really good, Jasmine. Another one was they receive your coaching and they take action. Right? I like that one. Yes, and like Jasmine said, they ask for advice. They come to you and need help or some guidance in something. John Maxwell says that you can look at how people respond when you ask for commitment or change. People will step up and sign up. That's one way of knowing that you're respected. You ask people to do something, they want to be involved, right? They want to be a part of the team. They want to do something to help out. When people are not respected, they doubt, they question, they make excuses, and they don't commit. He also says having the respect of those closest to you is priceless. So we'll just finish up on respect. A recap on this chapter is, how can you tell if people respect you? The amount of people who choose to follow you, the response of people when you ask for a commitment or change, and the people closest to you will respect you the most. Let's move on to the next chapter, Law of Intuition. This one was really, really good. I love this one. This is one of an interest to me, because I've always looked at my own intuition, and I've always, studied it, if you per se, to know, like, am I correct? Am I wrong? Kind of gauging your own intuition is a really, really good thing to do, so you don't make wrong decisions or responses. Leaders, John Maxwell says, leaders evaluate everything with a leadership bias. They see every situation through a leadership lens, not always how it will affect me, but how does it affect the team? So what is intuition? What do you think intuition is?
Following your gut.
Yeah. And we all should have good guts here.
Yes, healthy ones.
Yeah. We're on the right track. We're the best intuitive people out there. The most intuitive, I should say. So following your gut, yeah. Anything else?
I think it's kind of a sense of what needs to happen. Like, you know how, like, there's knowledge of what needs to happen, but sometimes, like, it's a sense of just knowing what needs to happen for the people underneath us. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's been times where I've just been like, I really think we need to do this, and it's because I can see that there's people just kind of raring to go, but we need to give them direction, and it's usually right.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes people are still resistant, even if it's what they need to do to get there. But a lot of times that gut feeling, I guess it comes back to gut, but also just kind of reading how people are starting to really respond, and they're right for the picking to get sort of moved on to that posting phase, or you know what I mean? That kind of, getting them, what's that called? Like launching them.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. So let me read what a definition of intuition is. It's direct perception of truth or facts independent of any reasoning. It's a process. So independent of any reasoning. So you really don't even have facts. You're just going on, you know that, have you ever said, I just know that I know that I know?
Mhm.
Right? That's one, I've used that a lot. I just know, like, it's just something happens, you just know. Intuition is making a decision with only gathering less than half of the information. And using experience to make up the difference.
I love that. I like.
Can I offer
really-
something else as well?
I saw your yellow highlighting. Yeah.
Something that's just come to mind as well is when they talk about quarterbacks and the training for quarterbacks. And I'm thinking about how, like, because I'm a coach, right? I work with women, and there's as a coach, my training has included understanding the 4 levels of incompetent, competent, conscious competence, and unconscious competence. When you get to unconscious competence, you don't even have to prep for a coaching call. You just show up and it flows through you.
Hmm.
And so coaching is easy for me. Not easy. I don't say that in a glib way. Forgive me if it sounded arrogant at all. It's that it's simply who I am. It's not a job. It's not what I do. It's who I am. So that when I'm working with a client, it literally is like what's what I want here? A pipe opens and I go into something and it just flows through, because I have trained for years to do this. And so it's like the quarterback. I know what I know and it flows through, and certain things in conversation will open the channel for me to be able to provide support and advice. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm getting it, because it's a
Okay.
gift to Maura. It's also
Mhm.
a gift.
Yeah.
Plus it, because of your experience.
Yeah.
Your intuitiveness comes with experience, because you're a coach, and like you said, you've done a lot of training, coaching, and so
all of that.
it
Yeah.
flows together, right?
So I don't have to work at it. I just
Right.
have to show up for the call.
Yeah. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. That's a gift for sure. Can intuition be learned?
Okay, that just blew me away when they said that it can be. I was like shocked over that. So
How so?
honestly. What?
How so?
I don't know. I just didn't like my son has amazing intuition when it comes to people. He can look at every one of you and speak 3 words and he'll know if you're genuinely, like if you're genuine or if you're not. So like it took him forever to find a good psychologist, because he knew the ones that are doing it because it's their job, and
Right.
the ones that actually cared enough and wanted to listen. Like,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that was something you could, I mean, I think I have pretty good intuition, but he is unbelievable. And I did not think that was a learning, something you could learn. I didn't. Nope. I was blown
And
away.
And I think the learning part is the experience as well,
Yeah.
right? I think it goes hand in hand, that a lot of times you might have a feeling or something and you're like, I know it, but I don't know why I know it. So I just have to test it a bit.
Mhm.
So if you're testing it, because I've done that a lot, I've tested my intuitions and they were right. So that's the experience, right? When you're proof that they're right, then now you have something to prove it, kind of, you know what I mean?
Ladies,
Even
can I
with
be
Moira?
vulnerable? Oh, sorry.
When I first seen her on here, my first thought was, wow, if she's not somebody who's a psychiatrist or psychologist or somebody who's helping people, she missed her calling. And in that time, I just found out that that's what she does. Like, so, like, you know, like it's just, I didn't think it'd be something you could learn. I just, I don't know.
That's new, right? I love learning.
May I be vulnerable with you and share a story that just happened this week? You already know I'm a coach. However, coaches also hire coaches. Coaches have coaches because they recognize the value of having the right mentor at the right time.
Let me insert something here, Maura.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
insert right here that You are lifting your leadership lid by getting
Yes.
a coach.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. So if you, I don't know if you follow my stuff on Facebook at all, but I posted this week about hiring a coach to help me prepare for a TED Talk. And I had booked a coffee chat with this woman. I was referred to her, and Allison, this kind of ties in with your son. Okay. It's that when I had this interview with her, she started asking me about myself and different things. And I found myself, I became so emotional during the interview. It touched my core. There was something that happened for me, and I thought if she could evoke that in me, if she could open that door, that I could go into that, and that she listened empathetically, and then gave me good feedback. I thought, man, I'm supposed to know this woman. She's my next step. She's going to help me draw forth what it is that I'm supposed to share with the world.
That's so awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
that's what we do for others, damn it.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So yes, intuition can be learned. It's hard to explain because it's not black and white. And it depends not so much on facts. But
No.
John Maxwell says it is the law that separates great leaders from good leaders. So you do have to learn and practice intuition for sure. Intuition comes from two things: natural ability, strength, and learned skills. That's what intuition is. What do you think, what part of this business requires the most intuition? See how many pages of notes I got left. We're running out of time.
I'll jump in for a second. I think it's the sifting and sorting. It's the being empathetic. It's the listening. It's the patience that we need to exhibit, perhaps beyond what we would normally do. It's allowing, and then looking for the, in intuition, he talks about leveraging others' talents, about you're always looking at the resources in your team. You're asking yourself, where is it that I could, even though I could do this, that maybe I could allow or encourage someone else to do it on my behalf. Just like Cindy tonight, you're doing this, you're running this call. We know that Natalie's got some stuff going on with her family. Her dad's not well. And she called on you and you stepped up. You made it happen. You're doing a beautiful job of leading this call tonight. That's an example of leadership, is Natalie reaching down, offering you the opportunity to be the leader tonight, and you stepping into it.
Thank you, Maura. So another part of what part of the business requires intuition is like Leanne had mentioned earlier about, not your team members' launch. You want it to go well, and you don't want it to backfire, kind of deal, right? So that's kind of, we need to have intuition there on, the personality of the person. Are they ready? Because you can pick up on if people are ready or not, and how much they're ready to do or be a part of. I'm actually very sensitive when new people come into the team now under my level ones. I have that phone call, that hour phone call, getting to know them, getting to know their skills and things like that, and what they're capable of handling is very important. And then you don't want to put too much on them. So it's kind of finding, like perceiving some issues before they arise, if that makes sense, to help that person.
So wait a minute. So someone comes in underneath one of your level ones. You book a private call with that new person?
Yes.
Just you and them?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay, thank you.
You got to get to know the person, right? I love getting to know them. I ask them 1,000 questions and they ask me 1,000 questions. Why are you here? And all the, and get to know them. And in that call, I can pick up on if they're ready for all of this, or do they want to do it like one baby step at a time.
Okay.
That's very important to having a really healthy, growing level one.
Now, here's a question for you. Do you have a set of questions that you always ask?
No, It's kind of just kind of where, when you get to know where they live or something like that, just kind of
Yeah,
asking,
yeah.
what's
Okay.
your family like and what do you do? What do you love? Those kind of
Okay.
things
Yeah, yeah.
Like-
Okay.
on a very personal level.
Yeah, I've got someone in mind I'm now going to do that with. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So John Maxwell always says leaders are readers, but he doesn't necessarily mean books. He does mean books, of course, because he's written 100 books. I don't know how many, but lots. But leaders are good readers of people, right? So again, good intuition is looking at people, reading people. What are some ways you can read people? Like, for example, on your team in particular, what are some ways you can read team members? What would you be looking for?
If they keep their word,
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Their strengths,
Yeah.
like whether they show up or not.
Mm-hmm.
I watch for negativity and gossip. I have no tolerance for any of that. No, not at this point in life. So I don't want any of that on my team. Just like I don't want that any of that in my normal life.
That's excellent.
that's really good, Leanne.
Yeah.
At
And
45,
people
like-
will respect you for that.
I want to think that if any of us leave the table to go to the bathroom, no one's speaking of each other except to say, doesn't she look great tonight?
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent. I love that.
Triangulation and gossip is poison.
And when we cheer each other on, like, okay, Cindy's my outline. If I'm cheering her on, then my team sees me and they're gonna cheer. So it's a ripple effect, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what you do, your team will do for sure. If they realize, like Leanne, that they're not going to get away with gossip, so they're not going to bring gossip. They're not going to open that door, right? Because they'll know that Leanne will shut it down. So
I'd be like,
once you know that right out of the gate, then people get used to it. I love that. So here's a personal one. I love for each of you to answer this one if you can. Is there an area in your life where you feel you're naturally intuitive and not necessarily business? In any area of your life, do you feel there's an area that you're naturally intuitive? Can you
I like
make a quick
encouraging.
decision? Sorry?
Sorry, I said I like encouraging people, uplifting people.
Yeah.
For myself, I'm more intuitive when it comes to my children. I feel like just by looking at their faces and the expressions or their tone, I know how to address the situation, or I know if I have to be more delicate if they're more sensitive that day.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's very important. Do you normally make quick decisions about something without giving it much thought?
Sometimes, but often I think things through and I overthink sometimes, which can bite me in the butt sometimes.
Again, it's all learned, right? Even if you know you have it, then you still learn and grow. We all make mistakes. We all fallen, learn,
Yeah,
and I go back.
We grow with those mistakes though.
Yeah, we do. Hopefully we do.
Try to.
If this question stumps you, I've written this down. If this question stumps you, after the call, you could ask your sponsor or your spouse where they think your intuitiveness is, a quick insight that they can share with you, someone that knows you well. I know my husband would say about me already.
I was just gonna say, my husband's always saying, you're overthinking it again.
Yeah, us women.
Okay,
tend to-
Cindy, what would your husband tell us?
He would say, I'm a very good reader of people.
Uh-huh.
That's the first thing he would say. He would say, how did you know that? Because I've proven it so many times. I'll go, you just wait a minute. You just give it some time.
Yeah.
You know, just back up, give it some time. This is what I'm getting. And he's not seeing it at all.
Yeah.
This is what I'm picking up from this person. Either
Okay.
good or bad. Like Leanne says, sometimes you pick up negativity from people. Doesn't have to be much that they say. It's in their actions, it's in their quick response, it's in their eyes. It's a whole bunch of things, right? And you gather that without a whole lot of information about them. You just have that know that you know. And I'll say to them, you just hang on and wait. And in time you'll go, you know what? You were right. You had that feeling about that person to be kind of cautious. You were right.
It's
But
like a sixth sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've also had people join my team that I've had those feelings about too. But I'm just so grateful and thankful that these people were willing to work on themselves.
Mhm.
You know what? The personal growth is incredible. Like it's changed my life here. And I don't know if I would have done it without Plexus. Maybe other companies would have done the same, but I can only relate it to my growth in Plexus. And it's literally changed my life spiritually, physically, emotionally, socially, every part of me. It's challenged me and it's made me grow. Bet you guys can share the same, even if you were just started. You have a little story you could share. How
I'm-
confident are you in trusting your intuition? Are you confident? Sorry, Leanne.
Oh, all I was gonna say is I'm just because I think because of my job and what I've done for 24 years being an ICU nurse and then, you know, working like I'm same as you. I can look at somebody, I can tell immediately where they're at as far as just by their posture.
Yeah.
And it really does help because I know when I sort of to back off my energy because I can be a lot when I'm excited about something. So sometimes I have to self-talk myself down that not everybody's ready for the party of Leanne. So that yeah. Like, well, let's do this. Like not everybody wants to do that right away.
Leanne, thank you for sharing that. You are now my best friend.
I love these calls, getting to know you guys.
I do too,
Yeah.
because we really don't get that. Like I'm
No.
really, I can't wait till conference. Like
I
I
know.
can't wait. Like even the bus ride there, I'm so ready. I want Leanne's charcuterie and I want to be like blowing around the bus, getting to know everybody. Anyway, sorry, I'm totally.
That's okay.
I'm with you. I can't wait. One of the things that we have to develop is psychological safety,
Team.
right? Yeah, and being on the bus is the best way to do that.
Yeah, team. Go team. Anyway, sorry.
Go team.
You're doing great, Cindy.
So do you trust your intuition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that I think is learned as well. Like we're going to fail, of course. Sometimes you're wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are wrong. And we're just like, "Mix it."
So I'm going to throw something in here. I know that I can sometimes be gullible. I can, because I have a motto. I treat strangers as friends I haven't met yet. I would rather think higher of someone and have them prove me wrong
Yeah.
than think less of them and have them prove me wrong.
Mm.
I allow and I breathe and I greatness into and I envision for people their highest self and invite them to step into that. And
That is
I'm amazed sometimes at what I know that there's no way I would know. And people go, how did you know that? It's woo-woo stuff. And I'm so great. And I'm so grateful for it. That's all there is to it.
I love that woo-woo stuff.
I
So
never
you-
thought I would be here. Like, it's a person like growth personally, like growing, and it's amazing actually. I didn't realize it as much as until I started this course that I've grown a lot in many ways. Still have lots to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Definitely a lot of
Thank you.
growth in Pamela as we've worked together, but I'm not saying it because I didn't, because when I started in Plexus, Natalie said the hard things, as you know kind of our story where she had to be hard on me because she saw what was in me and I wasn't.
No, I don't know the hard story.
Oh, she can share the hard story with you.
Well, she told me you were shy and that you have gradually, slowly stepped into your power.
And you know what? The hardest thing I had to receive was the word leader. I didn't see myself as a leader at all. I
Okay.
was a follower, and like
Aw.
the transition from following to being a leader, because if you have one person under you, you have to be a leader. You have to lead them, right? And I was looking at it, I think like Pam, overthinking it. I didn't even look at that I was a leader.
Mhm. Natalie has such
I
incredible
can't imagine you
respect
not
for
being
you.
able to.
Yeah, no, Natalie talks about you frequently, and she has such incredible respect for you.
And so I wouldn't be here today without Natalie Fowler in
Yeah.
all ways. Like she's
Yeah.
been such a great mentor and support and
Mhm.
friend to me. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, she's the reason I'm here.
And Cindy, I'm the reason. You're the reason I'm here. So
And like I
you
said, I
believed in me.
appreciate Pamela. We've had to have some hard conversations, and I just appreciate our friendship even more so because we've grown through it, and it's beautiful too that we have this on the other side. It's beautiful, a beautiful friendship.
Before we go further, I'm going to ask Allison. You're in the dark there, and you're very, very quiet. And Jasmine, who hasn't even got her camera on, maybe because she's in her jammies and doesn't.
Her eyes. She said her eyes are swollen.
Oh,
Right.
okay. But I am looking forward to getting to know the two of you as well. Okay, Allison and Jasmine. Just saying.
I'm an open book, Moira. But yeah, no, my eyes have been irritated for 2 days. So I just have these compresses. So I'm not seeing you guys, but I'm here in my PJs.
Well, you have a great voice.
Thank you. I feel fine other than that. It's just they're on fire and I don't know what's going on. We'll see tomorrow.
Well, hopefully it settles down for you there, Jasmine, really quickly. So we'll end the call because it is past the hour. But the intuitive leaders look at circumstances around them and ask lots of questions. Because if you have something that you're sensing or you're knowing, inside I'm going, first of all, I think I ask myself, why am I feeling this way? Right? Why am I picking that up? What am I getting here that nobody else is seeing? Or maybe not nobody else, but Dennis doesn't see it. I'm with him. I go, are you seeing that? And he's like, no, what are you talking about? I know men and women are different. That's a whole new study we could do. Men are from Mars, period. But like things like, why is it this way? Why is it popular? Why does this work? How does it work? How does it not work? Like this, the intuitive person will ask a lot of questions to get the answer. But I'm going to leave it at that for tonight. Did you guys want to close off with any remarks or what you've learned or takeaways from these last 2 chapters? Because they were amazing to me. I loved it.
I love the whole
How
book.
much I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the whole
It's
book.
great.
Mhm. I'm listening to it as well as reading the hard
I am
copy.
too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I just have the audio,
Okay.
but
I
I'm
like.
enjoying it.
I listened to it walking the dogs, and then I re-listened to it reading the book because I'm just really enjoying it.
you're
It's
making
really
excited.
good.
a lot of yellow marks in your book. You're highlighting.
Yeah. I'm
I
super
honestly
excited about the
find-
next 2 chapters too. The magnetism and the connection. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I honestly find this book is a lot the same as being like when I read like about intuition, respect. To me, that's what I do to be a good friend. So like to me, I'm reading it to become a leader, but I'm like, but I do that to be a good friend. So like it's just I don't know.
Good
I
person.
pride myself that I do think I try to be a really good, kind friend. And I feel like So like when you guys were saying about having friends in your group, I do. But to me, they already know me as this type of person in a way anyways. It's just, I need to have the confidence in myself to say I'm a leader. I don't have that confidence, but all this is who I try to be anyway, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. It does.
I think
You're
one of the
already a
biggest
leader, you'll
differences. Oh,
Sorry,
sorry,
go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Moira.
Jasmine. Oh, okay. What I was going to say is, I think one of the biggest differences between the leader and the follower is that the leader models what everyone else should do. The leader has the vision and they hold it so clearly for others to always see where to follow. And so that they're not swayed. They have certain things they stand for that everyone knows, that they can be counted on. They have integrity, that they are the go-to when it comes down to it. And so they can still be a friend, but when it comes down to it, they're still leading. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
it does.
Allison, you are clearly both a friend and a leader.
Yes, you are a leader.
I just don't have the confidence yet.
Exactly. That's
Okay,
exactly
okay.
what I was gonna say. You're gonna eventually gain the confidence and
Yeah,
realize that
yeah.
you already are a leader. You've already
Yeah,
taken those
yeah.
steps forward.
Yeah. As Cindy learned.
Yes. Perfect example.
And you're here, so
And you're here.
That's
Yeah, you're working on your
right.
personal growth and you're working on your leadership skills just by
Yeah.
doing
Mhm.
this 8-week leadership club with us.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? The good thing about this is that we learn from each other, and it's good.
Yeah,
We're more open. We're
Yeah.
more, I feel like I can speak comfortably with you guys, and that's a big thing with me.
Good.
it's very good. By the time we're done our 8 weeks, we're really gonna know each other really well.
So we're going to make this an incredible week.
We
Yeah.
are.
Yes.
Okay,